welcome back to your podcast. We're your hosts. I'm Beth Anne.
And I'm Kaylee.
And we're just kidding. I'm Kaylee.
And I'm Beth Anne.
And we're so glad you're here.
Where do we start?
It never lets up over this way. Not when there's crisis with the Brices to be had.
That's correct, Mundes. First things first. Last app, we mentioned that I was falling beneath the weather. I am still beneath the weather.
Essentially buried by the weather, but like you're coming back up. And honestly, you're refusing to let it really knock you down and out.
That's right. I filmed a little Get Ready With Me this morning, and I said that. I was like, something about me, like when I get sick, we're not going to pay too much attention to it. It's just something that's going to linger, and it's going to be a part of my daily routine. But again, a part of my daily routine.
Yes.
Like nothing is changing.
It adds one tiny step of like increasing that vitamin C.
Correct. Not colostrum and vitamin A and elderberry and Dayquil and NyQuil.
Vitamin D, sleep.
Yeah. Well, hadn't had enough of that.
We thought we were going to get a lot of that last evening, and we made plans. Dinner at 5:30, left the restaurant at 6:45. We're happy, we're healthy. Stopped by Walmart on the way home. What did we have to get? Oh, pimple patches. They were out. Okay. Yeah. We've advertised too much for Mighty Patch. Now they're all sold out. So no more talking about the best pimple patches in the market.
Neutrogena supposedly has pimple patches, and that's what we went with. They were the hyaluronic acid. And Kaylee, actually,
how did they treat you?
No, I think that I saw some pus in them this mortion.
We'll
touch back base later. If you hear like my nose do something, my throat do something, if you I'm feeling, if you hear, oh God, the cough drop in my mouth, like it's all happening. There's gurgling sensations.
You're great.
And we're crunchy.
We're so crunchy.
And I'm so happy to be alive, and I'm so happy Miss Fiona is alive.
Most importantly, we're so happy Miss Fiona is alive, and more thankful than most days, because we've experienced something traumatic in the last 24.
The last 12.
No, it happened so early in the evening. Like it happened like 16 hours ago.
Okay.
So the last 24.
Okay.
Or the last 16.
Okay. Apologies.
Okay.
I was in the shower.
So we get home from Walmart. We got the pimple patches, and Miss Beth was taking out Miss Fee. I was taking out Tootie, and we always go separate directions to begin with because the Doogies like to play, and we got to do our business. We can come inside and play.
That's right.
So we were planning on having an early evening, snuggling up, watching Adrift, our Flicks and Feels pick for the week. And I was walking Mr. Tootie, and I was on the phone with my daddy, and I was about to walk back into the house. I was across the street, and all of a sudden I see Miss Fiona come sprinting out of the house. But it was like I didn't even hardly see the door open. Like I was right across the street from our house. All I saw was her. And I'm like, oh my gosh, well, there was a car coming. Thankfully, it was a small car, and they were going like 25 miles an hour.
Kudos to them for going the speed limit in the neighborhood.
Yeah, they're like one of few. And so really like the Lord completely had his hand on Miss Fee. She came sprinting across because she thought she was going to come see me and Tootie. And I watched her go under the car and bounce around. And I don't even like know how to describe this, and I don't want to anymore. Okay. Basically, whatever you're envisioning, yes. And it was awful.
I do think that she's a little too smart for her own good, because I believe that she reached the handle to the front door, and I believe she pulled down on the handle. And then I believe she pulled back on the handle to get out of the front door, because she was chilling with me in the bathroom when I was in the shower for like 20 minutes. I got out of the shower. She was licking my leg, as she always does. And I was on the phone with my grandfather, and Kaylee calls me. And I'm like texting her, hold on, I'm on the phone with Gaga. And she's like, no, I'm out here with Miss Fee. I knew immediately Fiona has been hit by a car. Like I just knew, because it's something that circles my brain
constantly. It's like our greatest fear.
Yeah.
It's our greatest fear to hit a dog, and also our little doogies, like we always lock the door. Like even if we're out on a walk, Beth Anne goes inside before me. She always locks the door, and I'm like, I'm still out here. You don't have to lock the door. But honestly, yes, lock the door, because I guess maybe last night you didn't lock the door, and somehow she was pawing at the door and then knocked the handle down and let herself out. And that had to have just been what happened. And so she's rolling around the pavement. This is what I see, and I'm like obviously just thinking the worst. I'm just so panicked. And the precious girl behind the wheel, I mean, she had no time to see Fiona. Like, I don't even know if she saw her before she ran out in front of her. Like, Fiona, I don't know.
Why did she stop? Do you know what I mean?
Oh, she felt
it. She hit something.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay. That's when
What?
she stopped, though? But she didn't.
So, when we got to the vet, the emergency vet, I know we're, like, jumping around, but she literally was like, did she get hit by a toy car? Because there was no sign of her having gotten hit, like a badump sensation. Praise God. But like when I was watching it, I definitely saw like a badump situation. Like it was like she was completely run over and like under the car, and then like rolling out from underneath the car and like rolling on the pavement. And like there I am, like trying to run to her, and like I'm panicking. The girl hopped out of her car, also panicked. And Fiona was jumping up, trying to play with me and Tootie, like immediately.
As if nothing happened.
And all that was visible at that time was just a little road rash.
And really still at this
burn.
time.
Like if you're watching, you can see.
If you're watching, I'll
she
show
has just
y'all.
a little scratch.
It's right.
Yeah, you can hardly see it. It's tucked in kind of like near the fold of her leg. And
yeah, over here.
So,
thank goodness, sweet girl.
You're okay, Fiona.
She is perfect. And that precious girl she was a vet student, and she sat with me on the sidewalk, and we like evaluated Fiona, and then we went inside just to see how she was walking and jumping around. And she really had no signs of injury other than that scrape, but we went ahead and called the emergency vet and went, and it was a great experience.
She got doped
like
up.
as great as it could be, you know, like they were so kind. It was so nice and clean in there. Anyway, the doctor was super.
I loved her.
Yeah, super
she had
like
a personality
assuring. Yeah, very, very sweet. And just did all the evaluations, and it's like, I think we are totally good to go, praise God. Like,
yes, gave her a shot of, was it opioids?
Well, some kind of pain med, yeah.
Yeah, so she was loopy doopy.
She
was sacked out in my lap on the way home. It was so sweet.
We got there and they had a gurney out for her to lay on, and
Fiona was having
jumping
too much
up,
fun.
trying to play with them. And
She's like, "Oh, I'm meeting people this evening."
They're like,
She
"Okay,
had
we
some
don't need the
friends.
gurney." Like,
no. But you know, when someone calls in and says their dog just got ran over,
hit by a car, you're thinking, "Okay, well, let me get the gurney." And here Fiona is jumping up, playing around. Oh,
playing with her bone, like nothing phased her too much. She's wondering what everyone was so worried about.
Yeah,
you know.
was.
But that was just one of the tings.
So that was
happened.
last noche. Well, we got home and we still needed to watch our Flicks and Feels selection for the week. So I turned on Adrift, okay, on Hulu.
I had to take much NyQuil because today I'm doing better, honestly, than I was yesterday. Yesterday, I was ready to cry. I was ready to ball up and I was ready to cry. I couldn't stop coughing for the life of me. It was like I had ant bites in my throat. Like
You had such a fit in the middle of the night. I didn't know if it was ever going to stop.
Yeah.
I wanted to go to my room like so many different times. And I'm not saying this like to be mean. I was just like,
okay.
But I couldn't because I wanted to be with Miss Fee.
Right.
And I was waking up every 30 minutes, like my subconscious just needing to check on her.
Same.
And then the cough attack. But then also, you know, the light comes in as soon as the sun's up in your room. So like that's also hard for me to like
Kaylee.
combat.
You don't
know
like
this is
sleeping
how I
with
feel.
me.
I love sleeping with you. I don't love sleeping in your room, but I love sleeping in your bed.
Are you tired?
Yes.
Me too. Oh, wait, no, I can't laugh.
I am. But I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm just did not have like the most restful night's sleep. Honestly,
No.
I would have felt a lot better about staying up as late as I did
If you like the
watching
movie.
Adrift if I liked the movie.
So I actually hung in there for a while. Did you notice?
Yeah.
I was awake for the first like 45, I would say.
So this movie is based on a true story, and that's what really drew me to it after people suggested it. I'm like, yeah, true story. The trailer looks pretty action-packed and just suspenseful. There was no plot, really. All of a sudden, they like foreshadowed, the subtle foreshadow trend that's going around, and you like have a clip and then you quickly insert another clip from later in the video.
And it was based off a true story, right?
Yeah, it's based off a true story.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
Are you?
I just said that like
okay
2 seconds ago, but you're fine.
Like
that's oh my gosh.
Somebody
you're okay.
might have zoned out like I did.
Yeah.
Listening to your poo.
Okay.
And like,
so anyway.
my throat. Just go.
Well, it started out and you're like, okay, maybe they're setting a scene for us. Well, they went ahead and just foreshadowed, but kind of like the whole time they didn't set up the plot for us. They didn't introduce the characters. We didn't really know much about any of them. Like, we got an idea that the main character, I forgot her name, because did they even say it? No, they did. Tammy.
Okay.
Was coming to this country. She was just like wanted to see the world before she went back home. I don't think she had a good home life. And so she was just like exploring the country. And then she meets this guy, Richard, who's a sailor. And then all of a sudden they're sailing from, I don't even know where they were, Mexico.
On his boat that he built.
No, you fell asleep.
Okay.
So
I'm
they
done.
weren't on the boat that he built. They were on the boat. Honestly, I could not decipher.
Okay.
They went to dinner with this couple that he knew. All of a sudden, this random couple, we don't know how he knew them, where they came from. They wanted to go back to California, San Diego area. They wanted him to sail the boat. So literally. So they wanted to pay him $10,000 to sail the boat across the ocean blue and then fly him and Tammy back home or whatever afterwards. I couldn't tell. Like, at one point, they showed them on this yacht. That was the old couple's yacht, and that's what they were taking across the water. But then when they showed the boat that they were taking across the water, that did not look like the same boat. So I don't know. I couldn't figure it out.
Well,
and there was a storm, a brewing, like a Category 4 or 5 hurricane when they were out there, which it's kind of like, I'm not a sailor, and I don't even love being out in the ocean like that. I would expect there to be a hurricane. If I was ever going out to sail the ocean blue for like a month,
right,
I'd be like, okay, there's going to be a hurricane. It wouldn't shock me like, oh no, there's a storm forming. I'm expecting a storm every night. That's just where I'm at. But
it'd be hard for me to have a single good feeling about it.
A single good feeling. Remind you, this is based on a true story.
Right.
So these people really set off and did that. So they were entering this like huge wave at one point. I think you were asleep by now. And he was screaming at her to go on the inside part of the boat. And she didn't want to. She wanted to stay out there with him. But finally she like jumped to the inside part of the boat and he couldn't get there. And then he went flying overboard. Well, they don't tell you that until the last 10 minutes. So the whole movie, she's taking care of him. Like, he has
I saw this.
Dry mouth, he broke his leg,
Yep.
he bruised his ribs. It was
Yep.
just kind of like, that wasn't even a plot twist. That was just like, you lied to us. Like, the producers lied. The whole movie was a lie.
Okay. Yeah.
The whole thing was like, why? Okay, so they acted like she flies to the back of the boat, everything breaks, the boat's almost torn in half. Then she wakes up one morning, I don't know how much time has passed, and she's like, oh my gosh, and she sees Richard like hanging onto a piece of whatever
in the
out there floating. So then she goes and rescues him, and she's like, you're alive, you're alive. So as a viewer, why am I to think that he's not alive? There was no, like, they foreshadowed the whole movie, but it wasn't even true. She was hallucinating the whole time. Okay.
She was?
Yeah, that's what the whole thing was about. She's hallucinating. She's taking care of him and his bruised and broken ribs, broken
she
leg,
wasn't really?
feeding him peanut butter, making sure that he has enough food and sardines. And it was the craziest. I'm like, that poor actor, Richard, had to lay in the boat and act like he was suffering dry mouth syndrome and all. And he wasn't even there.
Dry mouth
She was hallucinating.
Hold on. Do we think in our hearts of hearts that there?
I'm looking it up.
Excuse me. That
I'm
there
looking it up.
is such thing as dry mouth syndrome.
I'm looking it up. That he had,
Dry mouth.
he was so
syndrome?
dehydrated.
that he had dry mouth syndrome,
Dry mouth syndrome. Oh, dry mouth
otherwise
syndrome.
known as cotton mouth.
No. It says also known as xerostomia is a condition characterized by a persistent feeling of dryness in the mouth due to reduced saliva production.
Obsessed with you getting that.
Causes, medications, dehydration, aging, smoking. So
When was the most Guys, I can't laugh. I sound a mess. When was the most dehydrated you've ever been in your entire life? Can you remember? Yes or no? You have a piece of mascara.
my mascara is flaking off.
Can I get it?
Well, you can just tell me where it is.
It's right there on the right. You almost have it. No, it's on the top a little bit more. On the right, like right there. Wait, no, let me
Did I
see.
get
You got
it?
it. You got it.
I got it.
Yeah.
If you
You're
have
beautiful. It's really not flaking off though.
well, thank you, but I've been having an issue the past like 20 trying to get this speck out of my eye.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway,
You got it.
finally at the end of the
Okay.
movie,
Yeah.
she just wakes up one morning, she's like dying.
Mm-hmm.
And you think as the viewer that Richard laid out in the back of the boat with his broken ribs and leg is telling her you have to get up. You have to get up and you have to steer the boat, whatever. Like get up. And so, oh no. That's her hallucination again. Well, she gets up and a land bird,
Okay.
like a bird that can only come from land really, has landed on the boat. And she's like, "Where'd you come from?" And
I noticed she talked to herself a lot throughout the movie.
yeah, well, I thought she was talking to Richard, but she was talking to herself because she was hallucinating. Richard was never there. And so she gets her binoculars and she sees land in the distance. And she's like, and she like shoots this gun that like signals to the boat that she can see way in the distance to come get her.
Obsessed.
Anyway, that's when you figure out that Richard hasn't been there this entire time. It went from Richard was laying in the back of the boat to it was just his sweater and a pillow. No broken ribs, no dry mouth syndrome, and no broken legs. It was the crazy. And there I laid.
And how did you feel?
Stupid.
And
Stupid. Because
where was Richard?
Oh, overboard. Oh, yeah,
Oh.
he drowned. Oh, that was the whole thing.
He drowned.
So finally, in the last 10 minutes, they show you what actually happened when she went flying into the boat and he was still left out when they were going into that huge
I can't
wave.
even imagine how they made that turn.
It looked fake.
Yeah.
He went flying overboard and like sinking into the abyss. And you're just sitting in the
I'm so bored.
I'm just glad I didn't pay to go see that. Someone wrote in, I posted that I was watching it on my Instagram story and someone responded and was like, "Oh my gosh, I left the movie theater because I was so bored and I missed the whole plot twist." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, I can't wait for the plot twist."
You kept saying that last night.
Not, yeah.
You kept being
I
like,
kept telling Beth Anne, like, we just have to stick this out. There's a plot twist. It really was like kind of boring. It could have been so much better. It wasn't like, with this being based on a true story, they could have made this something. They did not set the scene. We didn't know our toe from our tailbone. It was just, it didn't make any sense, the whole thing.
right.
So, and then they show you at the
Kaylee-
end of the movie what I videoed the end of the movie so I could explain.
Oh, show me.
I know I am
I'm curious. What did I sound like next to you?
snoring.
Okay.
So I was so happy for you.
Yes.
So the end of the movie, then they kind of explain the most they explain the entire time. It says Richard Sharp was swept overboard and died in Hurricane Raymond. He was 33. If they just would have led with that.
If they just would have led with that.
Anyway.
Well, then that would have been a spoiler.
Tammy Oldham survived alone at sea for 41 days.
Oh my God.
She was only 24 years old.
So women are superior. Yes.
Excuse me, I'm having indigestion again from the coof. Well,
Okay.
And then it literally shows pictures of her, like real life pictures. And
I'm so curious. Please show.
they look identical to the boat that they made in the movie. So at least there was that. And the only thing that I have to credit is like, okay, at least this was based on a true story. I'm so proud of her. And maybe she's still making revenue from me watching it on Hulu last night. I don't know. They just could have done her so much more justice and whatever.
Oh, there they are.
Yeah.
Looking
Sweet.
gorge.
So whoever suggested that, like, love you so much.
Glad you saw it so you can say
And now we know.
Yeah.
But
We have different tastes, maybe.
that was so frustrating.
I'm so ready for there to be a good flicks and feels. And like we have had two good flicks and feels. Like it's not like they've all been bust.
What happened to Monday was fire. I wouldn't say that this sucked. It was just like,
well, the movie we originally told you guys to watch was my suggestion, and I take full response because I did not watch a trailer or anything like that. I just kind of like went with it because I heard good things. My best friend's girl, I kind of just had this like eerie feeling that you guys were going to watch the first 15, 20 and be like, why are Beth Anne and Kaylee telling me to go watch this movie that's all about sex and hooking up? And I was like, I am still going to finish it though, because a couple of my friends did tell me they actually love that movie. So I feel like it definitely comes around, but I was struggling there at the beginning, and I'm sure y'all were too.
You just have to get past like the vulgar and like
It's
the
so
F word.
vulgar. Yeah, but it's quirky.
No, it's quirky. I think
It's
that the main
quirky.
character, like they have to set him up to be this just like super vulgar, like crazy douchey guy.
Yeah.
And then he comes around and like that's part of the plot. And that's great. We'll watch it on our own time, but I hate to
will.
like tell everyone to consume.
Do you want to tell them what flicks and feels to watch?
Yes, this
week?
has a 4.8 star rating on Google Reviews.
Perfect.
We can't wait.
Mhm.
This week for Flicks and Feels, we're going to watch The Swimmers on Netflix.
Yes.
So I'm going to read the synopsis.
Do it.
It's literally 6 words. This inspiring true story of two brave, tight-knit sisters, swimmers from Syria who defy the odds, is from award-winning director Sally. Okay, whatever. So it's these two sisters that are from Syria and are swimmers. And I don't know much else beyond that. It's 2 hours and 15 minutes, so we'll be sat.
Perfect.
But I'm excited.
I'm so excited.
That's going to be fire.
We can make popcorn and use the seasoning that we have, like the cheddar and the Butter.
All of it.
Yeah.
With both the front and the back door locked.
Yeah. Should I tell them about, should I? Of course I'm going to. Tell them about what happened to me.
Oh my gosh.
In
Y'all,
a
this
48-hour
has
span.
We don't need any pity. Like, we're okay.
Oh my gosh, of course.
It's been a traumatic week.
It has. And they say bad things come in threes. So I'm done.
Yeah,
And I'm not
it's
worried about
over.
anything else. So,
It's over.
but I'm also not driving tonight, just so I can just.
Don't.
Tonight we're going to play top golf with Gage and our brother Chase and our best friend Ryan. It's going to be so fun. I really just should probably stay home, but again, I don't let sickness get in the way of my daily routine. Not that top golf is in my routine, but it is in my smucky Friday night plans.
Yeah.
Saturday night, and I got no plans. I'm going to stay home and alone and dance. The other day, Miss Kaylee and I, we were having a craving. And if anyone lives near a Raising Cane's, you know that the line is always wrapped, double wrapped, oftentimes. We had a very healthy dinner. But as time went on throughout the evening, we thought to ourselves, we could go for a chicken finger.
Just like a chicken finger.
And some Butter toast.
And like 3 Frenchies.
And that's all.
That's it.
We do as we please. When we're on our way home from Raising Cane's, I am pulling into our apartment complex, and I see this police officer, this policeman, like I used to say when I was a little girl.
This caprice man. Turn his blue lights on.
Well, first I see him get behind me, and I'm like, yeah, I'm getting pulled over. But I wasn't doing anything wrong. And I knew I wasn't doing anything wrong, but why else does an officer get directly behind you, like in an area that doesn't need, like you don't need to switch lanes right now. Like we were in a very much like coming to a close. We're pulling into the neighborhood. Nothing crazy is about to happen, except for the fact that, yes, the blue lights did come on. And so did the siren telling me to get over immediately.
Oh, like beeping. Like,
reminding me to pull over. I'm like, no, I'm going to pull over.
like we were a threat to society.
Yes. Kaylee's in the car. Both Doogies are in the car. And he comes up on the passenger side. And what is the first thing that he says to me when he comes over?
You got your license on you?
Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, but why am I getting pulled over right now? And he's like, well, and he looks at my license. He goes, clearly it's not you, but there is a warrant out for the owner of this car. Warrant out for the owner of this car's arrest.
Yeah, arrest.
And Kaylee goes, and I'm like, wait.
So my mind is swirling. I'm like, did we not pay a ticket? Are we
Right.
Did
My mind
something
was
mess
going
up with
there
our taxes?
Yep.
Are we going to federal prison for tax fraud? Like
I was also like immediately just picturing myself in handcuffs, being like, "This is not my look. Like this is not." Gonna be my look.
I'm like, okay, TikTok huge podcaster Beth Anne Brice arrested for. I mean, it's just my brain is swirling.
He's like, "Wait, are you the owner of this vehicle?" And I'm like, "Not to pat myself on the back or anything, but
pat yourself on the back, girl."
And he's like, "Oh, okay." Now he's looking just as concerned as we are. And I'm like, is there any way? He's like, yeah, hold on. My scanner might have made a mistake because I guess whatever scans the tags, like as you're driving down the road, could have made an error. So he's like, give me just a sec. Goes back to his car, comes right on over Red Rover. And he goes, yeah, you're good. I'm so sorry. I have a Y in my license plate and supposedly the scanner picked up a V. Like, I don't know. He's like, apologies. Have a great rest of your evening. You're totally fine to go. At this point, I'm shaking.
Okay. Beth Anne's like, I love you so much. Please be safe.
Like, I love you so much.
Like, I love
Thank
you
for
so
not
much.
arresting
And he's
me
like,
this evening.
He wanted to get away from us as much as we wanted to get away from him.
Of course.
Thank God.
We were stressing him out. But also, you're stressing me out. And why did you not cross reference?
He was ready to arrest us. Like, he literally turned his lights on, pulled us over, like, in an attempt to arrest.
No, I took it personally.
The dogs were growling and I didn't tell him to stop.
Absolutely not. No. So we do go home and like we eat our caniac and like everything's like good.
Our caniac.
Is that what it's called? Like,
yeah.
And like a Coke Zero.
Well, we got a 3 Ps.
We got a 3.
So it technically wasn't. I think it's called the box.
Extra fries, no slaw.
No.
But there was no extra fries. In fact, there wasn't even a decent amount of fries. What?
It comes.
Tell me.
So the caniac is like 6 fingers, I think. We did the tres chicken finger. I think we did the box combo, which is literally just like 3 chicken fingers, fries, toast.
Oh,
slaw not included.
Okay, slaw not included.
We would have subbed for more fries. Well, there was no.
Okay.
There were literally 8 singular Frenchies.
I'm just making things up today on the pod.
No,
like I'm just saying things.
You're doing great.
Okay.
And wait, did we talk about this last episode?
No, we mentioned that we had gotten Raising Cane's the night before. Like we talked. Wait. No, we didn't talk about me getting pulled over.
But we didn't talk about we getting pulled over.
No, I don't think we did. We just mentioned that we had Raising Cane's. Why did we not? We just.
Wait, did we not?
No, we didn't. I know we didn't. I know I haven't talked out loud about this much.
No, I know. But I'm having deja vu right now talking about 8 fries being in the box.
Yeah, because we did talk about Raising Cane's.
Oh.
But like very briefly, we didn't say like we went and got Raising Cane's. I just mentioned that I think you were talking about possibly like feeling over.
I can't believe we're just now speaking about you getting pulled over. Well, it's not over yet. So that happened Monday night.
Why would it ever be over? Okay.
We're recording right now. It's Friday. Okay. So this happened Monday, gets pulled over. Tuesday goes by. No police. Wednesday.
Police. I am pulling out of the apartmento and like I'm sitting on a road or I'm basically when I pull into the road, I'm immediately at a red light. Like I never had an opportunity to be in moving traffic at all. There was no part of that moment that could have had me doing anything wrong. Well, my CarPlay wasn't working. So, you know, we have like the stickies, like these little Octobuddies right here on the back of our phones. And so I was just going to stick it up onto my screen. And then that's where I was going to like control my music and everything. You know, like an Uber driver, a Lyft driver, like they have their phones propped up there. Well, I do that. I pick my phone up and I put it up there and I literally swipe over to the song that I want, press play, put my hands back in my lap. I'm like sipping on my tea, got myself a little nutrition tea, give me that 100 milligrams of caffeine and 17 grams of protein. Like it was gorgeous. Well, there's a cop like to my left and I see her, but I'm not worried about her because I'm not doing anything wrong. The light turns green. I go. she gets behind me. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm getting pulled over again. She doesn't turn her blue lights on yet, but like I know what this means. And so there's a racetrack gas station up ahead. And I'm like, okay. And I already just start slowing down. Like I'm just about to turn right into this gas station. She turns her lights on. I'm like, of course. And in my head, I'm like, oh, it's probably just what happened the other day. I'm starting to feel real bad for somebody that got a V and they license plate.
Look, they're on
They're on to you. But first they're on to me.
They're coming. Like run and hide if your license plate
got a
goes
V in
something
it.
like
No.
because
Yeah. To that cadence. So
they're coming.
also shout out to whoever saw me at the racetrack and was like, Miss Beth Anne, and like videoing me with like the cop behind me with blue lights. Everything was fine, queens and gangs. You didn't see me like the bad and busted.
I wish someone would post that.
I mean, it's probably somewhere. Seriously, like we cannot get arrested, and nobody that we know and love can ever get arrested because my mom follows every account in nearby surrounding areas, and then the ones that aren't even nearby and surrounding. So like you're done. Like you can't keep it a secret from Jenny B ever, and like she won't forgive you because why are you going to jail? Why are you getting pulled over? Like, I mean, yeah. So she comes over. It's a she, her cop. Why they always have the biggest, fattest, longest stick up there, I don't know. But this one here, boy, she was walking and talking different. So she comes up and she's like,
respect for getting through the police academy, but I'm an adult too, and I'm a woman, so stop.
No. And like, also, there's no sense in it.
No, like
Despite
you're so rude.
Us both being just like women and
we're both women in sports.
We're
like,
both women
relax.
in sports. Like, there's just no sense. I didn't do anything to you. Okay. Comes over.
She thinks because she's the one holding handcuffs, she's got a one-up on you.
Well, and she might, but I gave her no reason to use them. No. Okay. She comes over. Looks like you got pulled over for this yesterday. I'm like, nope, didn't get pulled over yesterday. Monday,
2 days
get
ago.
it right. And she's like, okay, well, and I was like, but wait, also I did get pulled over Monday, but it wasn't for, and I kind of paused. I'm like, wait, why am I getting pulled over right now? She's like, oh, I mean, you were operating with your phone behind the wheel.
Operating.
And I'm like, operating my phone? I was like, wait. And so trying not to sound like a smart aleck, I'm like, are you talking about at the red light? Like when I moved my phone? Because I did put my phone, and I'm showing her how it's sitting up on my screen. I'm like, I did put my phone like up here on my screen to play the song, whatever. And I like barely touched it again at a red light. Like, I'm not trying to make excuses for my actions. I understand that like Georgia state law is like, you cannot hold your phone under any circumstances, but come on. And she's like,
meanwhile, they got a whole computer system, Intel going on. I see both hands typing on the computer going down the road.
I know that's right.
I will see it.
A girl, I know,
And I just stare at him sitting right next to me at the red light.
because where was
Never
your
forget
eyes?
when I was sitting at the red light and I
Okay, go ahead. No, it's fine.
No, keep going with your story.
Okay, you go next.
Okay.
First is the worst. Second is the best. Wait, crap, that didn't go how I wanted it to go. Okay, so then, I'm trying to tell her the story of what happened, of why I got pulled over on Monday and how the cop made like a complete mistake and the scanner went bad, but she didn't like that. So she's going, okay. And I just keep talking because, okay. Like, okay. And y'all, my ears are ringing so bad right now. Like, I'm officially sick. This is so unfair. Anyway, she's like, do you have your license? I'm like, of course. Also, what happened to license and registration? I noticed both times I got pulled over, they didn't ask for my registration. Thank God. Because
when
where
we got
is
pulled
that?
over, Beth Anne was looking at me. She's like, where's my registration? I'm like, too much.
Where is that?
He's just going
What
to
is
ask for your
that?
license.
Yeah. And how did you know that he was just going to ask for my license?
Because I have been pulled over a few times.
Okay.
We've actually had so many run-ins with the police.
Of course.
It's
so
like
many.
we really are law-abiding citizens.
My
I don't
favorite
know.
was when I got pulled over by the policeman, and we were in a Mexican restaurant like parking lot, and he actually just scratched everything and was like, "Are you hungry?" I know, but he was like 50 pounds soaking wet and like so scraggly, like not cute at all. And I was headed to babysitting, so I was like, "Oh my gosh, I have to go." That's why I was speeding in the first place, King. Got to get to babysitting. I also babysat for a cop who I called. Oh my god. Okay, we'll get there. Hold on.
He went from wanting to write you a ticket to wanting to pay for your ticket.
That's right.
Wine and dine.
I know.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Got the swaz.
I know.
Getting pulled over and it turning into a date is
mess.
so iconic.
And so, anyway, she comes back and she's at her computer for so long. Of course, I'm watching her and like
trying to come up with a reason to get you.
Mm-hmm. And she comes back. She's like, well, we were sitting at the red light, so I am just going to give you a warning this time, but I'd hate to have to tell your mom you died because you can't quit operating your phone behind the wheel. And it's like
relax,
that
Sheila.
was too much. No, she was a little bit more of a, I was going to say like Gabby.
Roxanne. Was she a Roxanne?
Yeah. She was a Roxanne.
Do you remember her name? I wanted to get her badge number so we could report her because I have she was harassing.
She was bullying. I have it in my car, yes. Because I have it warning. I had to sign it.
Good.
Yes.
I think we should do something with that.
Well, we always can.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I'm like, okay, like, thank you. Then she like grabs my dog. I'm like, who do you think you are? Paws off. Whatever. I'm like, well, while you're at it, you can wish my dog a happy belated because her birthday was on February 15th. She just turned a year old. And she's like, oh my, I'm like, too much, Roxanne. But thank you for not giving me a ticket because that really.
No, she really isn't late for that. I think she just didn't think before she spoke. And
well, what got me is why did you come over to my window accusing me of getting pulled over for the same thing the other day? Looks like you got pulled over. So what did the first cop write down? You know what I mean? Like, was he embarrassed because he did something wrong? Because whenever you pull, I called the guy that I used to babysit for, who's a cop. And whenever you pull someone over and the scanner is running the tags and stuff, you're supposed to check it. Like the scanner does its thing, but then you're supposed to check it because it could be a license plate. I don't know if any license plates are the exact same, but I would assume maybe some are. Anyway, there could be like a Florida tag. Well, no, what guys? I
don't think they can be.
Well, yesterday when I was talking to
maybe they can.
My cop friend, he was saying like if it's a Florida tag, but then you're getting pulled out, like the one that has a warrant is a Georgia tag, then you have to make sure that it's a Georgia tag and not the Florida tag. That's what made me think that you could have some of the same.
Okay.
And also, like, I feel like you would eventually run out of combos.
I would think that too, but think about phone numbers.
And Social Security.
I mean, you know.
So interesting. Regardless.
Like, who keeps up with that?
He might have gotten in trouble before because he pulled someone over for doing, for the same thing where he didn't, like, check the tag after the scanner and he didn't want to, like, admit that in writing. So he just put down, that he pulled me over for, like, phone in hand or something. That's what made me think that she pulled me over for that same reason. And came to me with such confidence that that's why, I got pulled over the other day. Whatever. It's not on my record. Like, I don't have a ticket. I don't owe anything anymore. I've owed things in the past, like a super spreader. But he reduced it because I was so kind.
We also drove 2.5 hours to meet him at court.
And I drove 2.5 hours to meet him at court.
Oh, that's one thing about it. If you're going to give me the choice to pay or go to court,
I'll see you at court,
see you in court.
See you at court. I can't wait to see you at court. I've been waiting to put these stilettos on, son. And these pants, like I love a good
slack.
Yes.
Pair of slacks.
And that's what I've worn every time to court.
Trousers.
Seated
trousy.
No.
So gets pulled over Monday, gets pulled over Wednesday, dog gets run over Thursday night. It's just, you're good. You're done.
Do you think so?
Look.
How could
and really possibly? The Lord has just had mercy and grace on us through all of it.
Mm.
So
he has, Kaylee.
We're okay.
We're okay. Do you have anything to share with the class?
Well, I'm okay. I'm shocked that I'm not getting sick. I mean, knock on wood, because you are really going through it. And when you were asleep last night and coughed right into my face, I thought, oh, there it is. But
okay.
I've been taking my armor colostrum and just trying to stay on top of it. So I think I'm going to be okay. I'm excited for Topgolf tonight. Also, I'm feeling good about our split that we've started literally this week. It feels like we've been on a cut for 6 months. It's actually day 5. Yeah. And I'm okay, totally.
Did you decide if you wanted to lift today or
Well, I was thinking.
if we do it today, then it just gets over with today.
No, it does get over with, but we don't have time.
Oh, okay.
Because we do need to leave here by like 3:30 to like get to Mon Paz and then like get to like Georgia.
Okay, wait, what are we having? Are we eating Provinos tonight?
No, we can do whatever we want. That's the thing.
Well, I think we said Provinos.
Well, we mentioned
What else
out
would you
there.
have to play?
Well, I could do Provinos or like literally anything. I could even do
Chicken
Mexican
wings.
Yes.
I heard you.
Yes, chicken wings.
Mumble that.
I could do chicken wings.
From where? It's been a while since we've sat in a restaurant and had chicken wings. We always just pick up American Deli.
Okay, you know that restaurant Friends that we used to go to sometimes, like in the middle of softball tournaments?
Do you want to go there?
That was really good. They have one up there. They also have Wingstop, but like we had such a bad tumor cake last time we ate Wingstop.
Oh my gosh, Wingstop sits with you.
So we
Wingstop
DoorDash Wingstop.
sits.
But hey, that was in September, and we're still talking about the experience because we were in New York for Fashion Week, and this was beginning of September. We were so set on DoorDashing Wingstop. I don't know. And
Well,
actually, wait. No, that might have been on our L'Occitane brand trip. That wasn't
it
even
was it was L'Occitane
so that was in
November.
November. That was in
Yeah,
November. So it was actually 4 months ago.
yeah.
We're still talking about it. And we wanted to DoorDash Wingstop so badly. We sure did.
But it
And
wasn't like at 6 p.m., 7 p.m., or 8 p.m.
no, it was like 1 a.m.
Yeah.
And we had a Soul Cycle scheduled for like 6:30.
Mm-hmm.
When I tell you I was burping up hot honey rub
Oh my
For-
goodness.
40 days and 40 nights after that, I'm not kidding. I think I made the whole Soul Cycle room smell like fried chicken wang and things.
So did I.
I
We
was
both did.
burping nonstop. It was so gross.
It was so gross.
But
And
I
like,
love Wingstop, and we just had to get it. We were hungry, but we were also like it was so late at night, and we were like kind of sick to our
This
stomachs,
was
so we
another
could have just
thing.
let it go.
we never get Wingstop when we're here at home.
right.
Even though there
'Cause
is
there's not a
one. Well, it's not convenient.
40 minutes.
Yeah, it's
not
not,
a convenient.
convenient. But I'm just saying, like, anytime we travel somewhere, we're like, so is there a Wingstop nearby?
Mhm.
And this was our last night there,
Yeah.
and we knew that there was a Wingstop, like, so DoorDashable. I don't think it was so much that we wanted Wingstop so badly and that we were so starving. It was that we had already told ourselves we were getting Wingstop on this trip. It was our last night. We had to get Wingstop.
We had to get Wingstop.
Yeah, because we talked about this later that we both probably could have gone without it. Like as we were eating
As we
it.
were ordering it and picking out what we wanted, it was just kind of like in the back of my mind, I don't really
want to go for
want this that bad or like need
Mhm.
it that bad.
But I will say it's definitely American Deli first for me, and then Wingstop is second.
It's so good.
It's so freaking good, and their ranch.
and the more
shut
we're
up.
talking about it, holy crap.
Yeah.
So that
But
could be
we
in the cards
honestly
this
have no
season. more time to waste because girls need our help.
Oh, I'm here.
So our first double or nothing segment of the day. If you're new here, double or nothing is our advice segment where we have you guys write into yourpudcast@gmail.com. That is yourpudcast@gmail.com. And and you guys submit your advice. I'm sorry. I'm going to fix this part. And you guys write in for whatever you need advice for. If you're in a tough sitch with a relationship, with your relationship with Jesus, whether it's a friend or maybe it's something with work, honestly, anything, like we want to hear it.
The
First
juicier,
one.
the better.
The juicier, the better.
Yeah.
So this queen is in a tough position right now. She said she's looking for some advice from someone that is unbiased. Love. I have a very good friend. Let's call her Brittany, just for the story. Brittany started working at my job about a year ago. We were already good friends outside of work before that. While I love her outside of work, it's become really draining at work every day. I feel like she walks all over me because she knows I'm a nice girl who loves her, and I'll likely do whatever she needs. But it's starting to interfere with my work while I'm busy doing whatever she needs me to do.
Okay.
We're not in the same department, so our work is not the same, and I have a lot of pressing items to get done each day, and I don't really have the time to come to her rescue all the time. Since I've worked there for 5 years, I have the knowledge, and she knows that. I've tried writing things down for her to help with whatever she needs. I've sent her everything she needs to be successful in her position, but no matter how many times I tell her how to do something, she constantly asks if I'll just do it for her real quick, since I know it so well. She's my girl, and she's also going through a hard time outside of work with personal issues, so I don't want to be mean, but I don't know how to tell her she needs to be doing her work on her own, or she'll never learn. I'm okay with answering a couple questions every now and then, but it's becoming persistent. She's also not very nice when she asks and acts entitled.
Oh,
do you have any
should have led
advice
with that?
Yeah. Do you have any advice on this? I don't want to ruin our friendship outside of work. Okay, Queen.
The friendship doesn't fall on you. You wouldn't be ruining the friendship.
You're not ruining the friendship.
No.
She's abusing your friendship and
she's abusing
your good name.
Yeah.
I feel like I've experienced this in school because even though I wasn't always, not like the smartest, but I didn't always really know what was going on, but I had to figure it out because I just had to. And so I would notice, especially in college, like other people would just wait for me to figure it out and let them know.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like,
I was on the other end of that stick.
I know. You were DMing the group, like, how much do you want me to pay you to just figure this out for me and, like, honestly do my whole part? I know.
So, like, Brittany needs to offer, like, a barter.
I mean,
There
if
needs to
Brittany
be a
wants to
barter.
pay you for your services, like, if you're actually taking over an entire assignment that she needs to be doing, she could at least pay you. But honestly,
Forget the money. It's more so just like, is she
you don't need to be
helping
doing her
you
work
in any way? Yeah.
You don't need to be doing her work. She got hired, and whatever she put on that application, the people who hired her thought she had the credentials. And
Right.
if she lied to him and she ain't got the credentials, she can figure her out. She can figure it out. And I just think that you're so kind. I can tell you have such a big heart, and you're putting effort into this friendship, and you don't want to be, quote, mean by telling her she needs to do things on her own, but you're not being mean, and you don't even have to say, no, Brittany, I'm done. You have to do this on your own. You can just say, hey, honestly, I have so much on my plate today with this. I'm not going to be able to handle it. If you're able to ask someone else, or if you can use the notes that I've already written down for you, that would be great.
Yeah.
Like, that's all. And if she's just continuously asking, be like, I'm sorry, I really wish that I could help. It's just we're in completely different departments, and my workload has become even more time consuming.
And whenever I'm helping you, it's taking away from the things that I have to get done, because then it's taxing on you and it's getting in the way of like your responsibilities and what they hired you to do. And if she didn't have you, what would she do?
Right.
Because she's just using you as a crutch. Like, she needs to grow up, and she needs to be an adult, and she needs to take responsibility.
Well, and
she
hard
needs to
things
do it and figure
happen,
it out.
and I understand seasons and if she's having a hard time at home, but that is not everyone else's problem. And it's so kind for you to help as much as you can, but that's just it. Like, as much as you can. When it starts to take away from your work and then your mental health and what you're going through, you just have to find that healthy balance of,
especially because you said she's not asking nicely. Like, this is something she's expecting from you.
oh yeah, that's crazy.
There's absolutely zero reason why she should be expecting it from you. You know what I mean? And you were nice in the past. She began to abuse it. It's that simple. I can no longer offer my services because
if
like,
someone
you're
was
not...
asking something and like being rude about it, I would feel even more sure about being like, no, I can't today. I'm sorry.
I can't.
No.
But also, I'm not sorry.
Right.
What are you sorry for?
I knew you were going to say that.
I can't say... Yeah. Literally, when I was growing up, my mom used to be like,
You just never say you're sorry.
You're sorry.
I'm like, no, I'm not sorry. I hate that you feel that way. No, but heavy on... I hate that you feel that way. Okay. But no, I don't think you have anything to be sorry for, literally at all whatsoever. And it's so cut and dry. I feel like whenever you go out of your way for someone over and over and over and over and over, you're just kind of like, this is just what I do. Like, you just kind of fall into it because you're just like, oh, whatever. Like, it's fine. But no, like, it's not whatever and it's not fine. Like, that's not your job. So don't do it.
I don't want her to be taking advantage of you.
No. And you are like such a queen and you are so sweet. But I don't want you to have any anxiety about ruining the friendship because the friendship does not fall on you. In fact, I think that if she talks to you less and if like, you know, once you make a statement like, hey, like I really just cannot help you with this. I'm so busy with what I have, or I can't be coming over to your department, however you want to word it. If she starts pulling away from you, then you'll know where she stands in that friendship, and you'll know like she was probably just using you for your knowledge. And also like her saying, can you just do it for me? No.
It's easier said than done to just say, tell her you just can't do it, and to tell you that you don't have anything to feel bad about, because I know you're still going to feel bad, but I really, really, really don't want you to.
No.
she needs to have a little more self-awareness and realize everything that you have going on too.
She can literally just ask someone else. I mean,
And she can also just ask someone else.
Just ask someone else.
So we'd love to know how you handle that situation. Please follow up and email us back. Our another queen. She's 22 and her boyfriend is 24. They've been dating for 3 years. She said, I love him truly so much, and I know he loves me because of the way he treats me. We've talked about getting married, and I think he would make a great husband and father. I am concerned because his family is drastically different than mine. They do not go to church. His mom is not nice to me. I'm not close with his siblings, which is fine. We don't have to be best friends, but if they're going to be my children's aunt and uncle one day, shouldn't we be able to have a conversation? I've brought this up to him several times, and he sees the way his mama acts, and he understands my point of view very maturely.
Period.
I voiced my concern that I don't know about our children being around his family, and that it is very important to me that our kids are raised in church and not swayed by his parents, like his mom uses crystals. He agrees and wants our children to be raised in the church, as that is important to him as well, but he does not just want to cut his family off, which I totally understand, and I don't want that either. I just don't know how to handle the situation. This is a lot, and I apologize for the novel you have to read. I'm just curious about what you ladies think. Queen, don't ever be sorry.
Ever.
We're here for the novels. So I want to lead with this. Some people will tell you, you're not just marrying him, you're marrying the family. And while that's true,
he didn't choose his family.
right?
He
He's
can
choosing
choose-
you
And who he is and who he wants to become as a man and who he wants to
and how he
become
wants to
with
lead
you.
your family.
Yeah.
And if I just drew a blank.
Don't worry about it. Maybe I can help. My head does feel like 576
Wait, I was like
pounds.
literally going a million miles an hour, had all these ideas stacked, and then I just looked at you and I was like, where am I going?
Oh my gosh, I hate that I had that effect on you.
No. It wasn't that. I don't know. I think I was just going to say that, there can be boundaries.
Okay. That sounds good.
Yes, you're marrying him and kind of by default his family, but there's boundaries. And as long as you're putting your best foot forward, like you're trying to be friends with the siblings and they might not be the warmest, like, okay. And that just is like that sometimes, you know? And ideally, you want to have that perfect relationship and be close with your mother-in-law and all these things. But also, this is life. And if everybody was the same, life sure would be boring. And I think it's a good opportunity that they can maybe even see how you guys interact and how you will lead your family one day. And they might follow suit, even though they're older and they raised him and, you know, church wasn't a priority. But I think maybe if they start seeing that in your life, it could make them think a little more about it. I totally know what you mean about your future children maybe being influenced by their way of life or like these crystals. But as long as you're raising your children to know right and wrong and to
What's real
know
and fake.
Jesus and to know what's real and fake, then, you know, you just
can
pray
rest
for
in
their
that.
discernment
Yeah.
and say, you know, we love grandma. I don't know why she's putting these crystals in a Ziploc baggie and saying she's charging them. It's all fake.
Yeah.
She's just pretending. She's just playing pretend.
She's just using her imagination.
And that's okay to say that because it's literally so pretend.
And they would be your children. I know we're talking about hypothetical children in this
Yeah,
scenario, but like
right.
they'd be yours. And you raise them unapologetically.
Mhm.
Bottom line. And
I feel
think-
like you might be frustrated. You're like, I brought this up to my boyfriend several times, but he's in a place where he's not going to change his family overnight and he can only
Right.
do and say so much. And so I just think that as long as y'all have this relationship where you are secure in him and he's secure in you, you guys are good.
I agree. And boys too are a lot different than girls for the most part, I would say.
Yeah.
I think that if I needed to have a serious conversation with my mom or even dad about something, like I would face that head on. Again, that's my personality. I know not every girl is like this, but we tend to talk things out and we tend to be more elaborate and things like that. And I think for him, I have a brother. I've been friends with lots of guys. Like I understand they'd rather avoid. They're like, it's going to be fine. They'd rather just say, oh, it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. Don't worry about it. Rather than really having to talk about it. Like he probably feels awkward because as his mom, he loves his mom. He doesn't want to disrespect her, but he also loves you. And I do have a feeling the way you described him that he is siding with you and like as he should and also choosing you. And I don't know where y'all live. Like proximity is sometimes a big thing, but if you're not, don't even live close to them, like don't worry about it. You really are only gonna have to see them.
Yeah.
Family gatherings and special occasions, things like that. And if you do live close, again, they're your children. You set the boundaries and you don't feel sorry about it because you're protecting them. At the end of the day, like you're protecting your children and their hearts and their minds. And you never know the way you lead your family and how that can impact them, like you were saying, Kaylee.
Totally.
Like, it doesn't always have to be verbal. Sometimes people just see. I was listening to this thing the other day about see them, like see people, like see them for who they are, like not what they tell you and like not stories, but like see them, like their actions in that moment, in this stage of life they are right now, not their potential, just see them. And I feel like she could just see y'all's family, what y'all create one day. And if she wants to be a part of her grandchildren's life, then she will do whatever it takes to be that way.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah,
Totally.
I don't think you need to break up with him.
No.
Especially if he's receiving super well. And you said he's being very mature about it. Like one thing at a time. One thing at a time. And there is power in prayer. Just pray over them.
The Lord has a sense of humor, and you never know how he may use you guys, your relationship, anything, your future children, maybe, and their cousins, like his brother and sister, their future kids and your future kids. And they could have a really close relationship that brings you guys closer. Like there's so many different things that the Lord totally has a plan. I encourage you to lean in to committing this to prayer every single day. And I think you guys are going to be great.
Yeah. Don't worry about it. Don't worry. Be happy.
Don't worry. Be happy.
Hey.
So we have some encouragement from this queen.
Oh, period. I need it. Tadia.
I know. And so that's why I'm going to read it.
Yeah.
She says, "Hi, honeys. I just want to start off by saying that I have loved watching you guys grow over the past few years on TikTok. And now that you have a podcast, I'm loving it even more because I feel like I'm learning so much more about you guys."
Obsessed.
Yeah,
That was the goal.
That was the goal.
Mm-hmm.
She also has a double or nothing, but I wanted to pause and say that I was so encouraged by this because we started posting 4 years ago, 5 years ago, 5 years ago. Like
time flies when you're having a blast.
Okay. It's like we've had some people comment and say that, oh, I think we talked about this maybe on one of the first episodes where people are commenting like, "Oh, Miss Beth, like you changed," or "I miss like what you used to post," or we would post a lot of us just like hopping in the car and ranting. And like those days are not over. It's also life was so different. Our concerns were different. Our views probably on some things were different. I mean, 5 years, like think about where you were 5 years ago and how you've evolved. And I just think that sometimes we question where we were in life when we built our online community. And obviously we're like continuing to grow it, but it's hard. I mean,
if you filmed your life for the past 4 years and if you filmed your daily rants in the car and like, even just in my personal life, things that I don't post, like there's things that I used to call my friends about that I don't even talk to God about it. And it's like things that are just so pointless. It's like things that just don't even matter in life that used to matter to me back in the day. And like, I don't take those comments like, "Oh my gosh, you've changed," as an insult at all. Like, I'm like, thank God, you know? Mm-hmm. But there is like a lot of pressure sometimes, like you overanalyze your life and you go back and you look at things and you're like, well, like, am I changing? Am I still being Beth Anne? Like, no, I am. I'm just 5 years older.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was, like 14 to 19, I was super glad for change. So why can't I be glad for change from 19 to 25?
Right.
19 to 24. I'll be 25 this year. Hi. So that's crazy.
Oh.
But any hooch.
Oh, that's so
continue
crazy.
on with the encouragement. Yeah. I need to hear it.
So we're on to our double or nothing. She said, "I wanted to get some advice on the waiting season and how to manage that. I'm a senior in college, about to graduate in May, and I've been single for about 3 years. I've had some situationships and talking stages over that time, but I've not seriously dated anyone. I feel like God is really telling me that I need to simply focus on me and grow and learn and mature and pour into myself during this time. I've always struggled with giving my all to other people and never putting myself first. So that's why I feel like maybe I'm supposed to be alone right now, just to figure out my own stuff because I do have a lot on my plate. I've gotten much better at being alone and not seeking attention from men just for validation, but instead learning to find comfort and joy in being alone. But oftentimes I catch myself becoming sad or extremely lonely or thinking about situations in the past that ended. What is y'all's advice on navigating being single, growing, and maturing in yourself and in your faith, and also finding comfort in being alone? Love you guys so much. We love you.
Period. This was such like sleepover with the girls. We're in the living room. We're chatting.
Yeah.
Type of comment. When I was a senior in college, I had never been in a serious relationship. Yeah, situationships like you were saying, but like, And I don't even think I noticed because, I mean, not that I didn't notice, but I was surrounded by such great people, so many great friends. I loved my day-to-day. School, babysitting. My parents were close by. I was seeing them a lot. My friends were all here. Like, it was just, my cup was filled every day.
Yeah.
I think what I learned the most in that time is like, I was focusing so much on myself and like, is it me? Is it me? But it's not always what the Lord is doing in me. It can be what the Lord is doing in your partner, your future partner, or the person that he has coming your way. It doesn't have to be like your lifelong or like your forever, but like the next person that pursues you and you pursue them, like maybe the Lord is working in them. It's not always that he's working in you, or maybe he's just working in the timing itself. Okay. Because everything is made perfect in the Lord's timing. I also think that rather than viewing it as a waiting period, use it as fulfilling your purpose. Like, I think you have to have
a growing season.
Yeah. Like, what are things that you love? Like, what are things, who do you want to become like before you get with somebody else? Like, what can you bring to the table? Like, you should be really, really proud of the person that you are and everything that you have to offer whenever you become one, or whenever you start to date someone else, whenever you start to put yourself out there for someone else. Like, I mean, it's so cliche, but like, you want to feel whole on your own. And
because I think that when you enter a relationship or when you're seeking, like you're saying, validation constantly from other guys, and that's just kind of where your confidence comes from, then you're left empty when that ends because you found your validation, your purpose in that person. And that's not where it is. It's in the Lord. And I love that you are in this season where you're prioritizing him and you're looking, you do feel like he has you in this season. And I don't want to call it a waiting season, more so a growing season.
it feels like it because you're waiting. Like, you're
because
like,
you
well,
want a relationship and you desire that. But ask the Lord how he can continue to move in you and change your heart to loves the things that he loves and all those kinds of things, because I think that sets you up to be the very best version, not just of you, but as a woman of God, as a wife, as a
and it
future
obviously,
mother.
prepares you for the future, but it also like does bring you fulfillment today. Like, that can give you like instant fulfillment, is living in what the Lord's purpose is for you today. Like, yeah, we all think about the future. We all think about what life's going to be like with somebody and things like that. But like, these days matter too. And I think that these days build the foundation for your future. I also think that it's so important to guard your heart. Like, it's not always a bad thing. It doesn't always have to be a negative thing that you're a little singleton here in the world. I think it's like the most freeing, and there's the most opportunity in that sometimes. It's all about perception. There's perception,
Perspective.
Perception and perspective are interchangeable in my brain.
Yeah.
Right now. Perspective. Like that, I thought about that a lot whenever I did I had coffee with my younger self. I know I talked about that in the last ep. But things that, like, whenever you're wanting something and it's not happening, it can feel like a letdown. But it's not always a letdown. It's not always that the Lord is letting you down. It's not that the Lord forgot about you. It's not like he's always working. Like, you can rest assured in that. He is always working. Oftentimes things come out of nowhere when you're not expecting them. Whenever you shifted your focus away from that. Like, you're not so set on like, where is he? And you just go about like doing your day to day and becoming the best version of you. And then it's like, oh my gosh. And like, you're so surprised. Like, one Thursday afternoon, like, you're in the library and you drop your books and you look up and there's your Prince Charming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't have my first boyfriend until Gage, which this month, in March 12th, we'll be dating 3 years. So I was 21 when we met, and I had never had a boyfriend. And I guess I had like sort of situationships, but like, and I remember thanking God for protecting me from things that I thought that I wanted.
Yeah.
And when I would make comments like, I would literally try to calculate. I'm like, okay, even if I met my husband today, and my goal has not always been like I have to get married and have kids. I wasn't like trying to find a boyfriend. I think if that was the case, I would have had a boyfriend way before 21.
Yeah.
But I just remember thanking God for protecting me from the things that I thought I wanted. And in the meantime, I didn't even realize that I was growing as much as I did. But then it was so clear to me, like when I met Gage, like, oh, this, okay, this is right. Like I'm ready to be in a relationship. And so I think you're gonna know when you know, and to just enjoy this time with friends and being available and having your open schedule. And
I think like too, before when I was like single and whatever, I would think to myself like, I can't wait for this. 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 And like, you just have all these thoughts, like doing things with someone else, but also like singleness and like being in this time of, I'm not that you're like alone more because you can surround yourself with whoever, but like, you know, like you're alone more, like you just are. It's not that you're waiting for life to begin. Like my life isn't going to start until I'm with someone else. No, like your life began when the Lord knitted you in your mother's womb and you were born and he created you in his image. And he's been excited for your life since you were born. I tell myself like, I want to be just as excited for my life as the Lord is for my life, because you said something earlier to me that like the Lord never looks in the mirror and wishes he saw someone else. You know how someone
wrote that in.
Often, yeah, someone did write that in. So like, shout out to you. But yeah, I think like we all just kind of get a little futuristic sometimes and like think about what life could be like and how it could be so much better, but you don't always know it's going to be better on the other side. So just enjoy. Yeah. How about that?
Your growing season. How about that? So Twintuition today, we have a question. She says, do y'all ever get dressed and meet or come out of your rooms in the same outfit? Yeah.
We do.
Or like we will be talking about what we're planning to wear and I'll say, yeah, I was planning on wearing those jeans with that like new pink top from Abercrombie. And Beth Anne's like, oh, I was like also thinking about wearing that pink top from Abercrombie. And it's never a big deal. Like,
but you know that I wasn't actually thinking about wearing it this morning. I just was like, okay, period. But
oh, I know. I was
okay,
using that as an example.
Yes, no, because you will say things like that, or I'll be like, yeah, I was thinking like the red Adidas and like the black leather jacket, and you'll be like, oh, like the black leather jacket from Epiphany, and I'm like, yeah, and it's like we didn't talk about it. That's what I was wearing. It's just like so random out of all the things we have in our closet of stones. Another thing that we've done though is we've had the same dreams, and we've woken up at the same exact time, and we've met each other in the hallway of our home. Yeah. Like growing up, we watched Dennis the Menace. I don't know how many times we watched Dennis the Menace, but we watched Dennis the Menace. And the robber, do you remember how like Freaky Friday that robber was on there? Kaylee and I would have this dream. I guess you call it a nightmare, I don't know, where we would meet in the hallway and we would be like on top of the train. Was it the train? Or on top of the eating beans over a fire.
Yes.
Wasn't that? And he like poured them out of the can.
Yes.
And we would wake up there and I'd be like, Kaylee, what are you doing? And she's like, I was having the Dennis the Menace dream. And I'd be like, okay, me too. So Freaky Friday, we also lost our teeth, the exact same teeth at the exact same time. That's so Twintuition of us.
No, it's so Twintuition of us. Normally, for this segment, people write in questions for us to ask each other. So, for example, we always say this, what is Beth Anne's favorite movie? And I would say The Blind Side, because it is. Fiona is playing with cards over there.
Fiona. Hi, Queen.
You're such a curious little George. So, doing girl.
I'm so happy you're okay, mommy.
But you guys can write in anything for Twintuition. You can also just ask us what some twin things that we've done, but we love for you to ask us questions for us to ask each other. Yes. If that makes sense. So another write-in. If you both had to pick one emoji that best describes you, what do you think each other would pick?
Ooh.
We have to look. So
basically I would pick an emoji that describes you.
That describes me, and I pick one that describes you.
Okay. Oh, I know.
I'm pulling up the one that I describe you as, and you're pulling up the one that you think I describe you as.
Got it.
Boom. Got it. Are you there?
Yeah.
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Oh, wait, that's so funny. I thought you were going to do this one because I'm like, like I'm always just like, yeah, then that's me. So the monkey?
I'm just like, meow. Like you're just ready for the next thing. Like
mural.
I think it's so
Kaylee, you're
cute.
so funny. Okay,
So now the emoji that you are going to use to describe me.
Okay.
Oh, this is fun. Oh my gosh, this is fun.
I'm having so much fun, Kaylee.
Are you using a face? I guess we could have specified if we were using a face.
I
or
was
an
going to do
animal.
faces, but I also just almost did something else that was not a face.
You can do something that's not a face.
No, let's just do faces.
Okay, we'll just do faces.
It's just, yeah.
You have it?
Yeah, this one isn't like, it's not super crazy.
To describe me.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're going to choose. Okay, I'm just going to guess. I feel like it's not going to be the same.
I know. I'm so nervous.
I'm so nervous. Okay, let's show the camera.
3,
2, 1.
Oh. Oh, you're so silly. This one is not the blushing one. It's just the
Yeah. No, I think
because
it's
I
so
feel
cute.
like you're so like you
No, I
always
know.
kind of do that.
You're so funny. That's kind of what I was thinking with that emoji. Like,
But sometimes it's not always silly because you do get like stressed on them.
I get stressed on him.
Yeah, so you're always just like if I'm like, Kaylee, how are you? You're like, you know, and then yes, you
yeah.
are.
So that's funny. Okay, one more for Twintuition.
Okay,
I love this.
me too.
She says,
I hope I give
all
good
right,
enough advice to the girl that's single, because like, it's good. Like,
you're good.
it's a big
It's
fat world out here.
fun. Like, you're having
Yes.
fun.
You're having fun, and like
you get to
your
do...
friends have problems in their relationships, and then they
Yeah.
have to start over.
And I don't get
it's
the
just
vibe
like-
that you're in a rush to be in a relationship. I think that if you were, you'd be on dating apps, you'd be doing whatever to be in a relationship. I think you have
Yeah.
a very level head and you know what you should be doing. It's just, you can't help but to think, who is the man the Lord has for me and when is he going to enter my life? And, I think as girls, we have this timeline, especially with like bearing children, whatever. We just don't want it to be too late or whatever. And when it's right, and you have peace about it, you know that it's the Lord's plan. It's not.
You see how worth it this time was. And 2, like you just have more time to pray for the right one. Like that's what I'm talking about. You know what I mean?
There's nothing worse than
'Cause
wasting
The
time.
Lord is like handcrafting. Yeah.
like you're better single than
Than
with
paying for therapy.
well, that too. Yeah. So our last Twintuition,
Okay.
Georgina wrote in. You'll have
Love
to
it.
watch Georgina Flies on YouTube. Georgina's one of our best friends who's a flight attendant and shares just all of her like travel vlogs and
It's
days in her
so
life. It's so
entertaining.
entertaining. Georgina, hey girls, huge fan. Beth Anne, what's Kaylee's death row meal in 0.5 seconds?
In 0.5 seconds. Okay.
Let me think of what it would be.
Okay.
Honestly, okay. 3, 2. Okay. So you think of something.
Okay, because I was distracted looking at you think. So I didn't think on my own. Okay.
Okay.
My
Death row meal.
do you have a drink too?
No, just food.
Food.
I would probably just drink water because I'd be like, what's the point?
No, literally, I'm gonna get a UTI.
My last day out.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm so stressed right
You
now.
got it?
I mean, do
It's not like crazy.
I know. Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
1.
Mom
Chicken.
spaghetti. Okay.
Okay. So I was
Knees weak, arms are heavy.
vomit on his sweater
Already. He's
Mom.
nervous.
He's nervous.
Got vomit on his
Sweater already. He's nervous. But on the surface, he looked calm and ready.
I would do mom spaghetti. I
Wait,
love
Mom spaghetti. I'm over here. I'm like, she got some chicken wings.
She gonna have strawberry Fanta. You
I
know that's her favorite
was.
with chicken wing.
Yeah. It was. Mom spaghetti, though, 100p.
I know. And she's making lasagna this weekend. I can't wait.
Remember shells and cheese?
Love shells and chives. Something so weird about Gage that I've like had to look past as my future.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
husband, like father of my children, he doesn't really like spaghetti. Knees weak, arms are heavy. It's so weird. Like you don't like to twirl a noodle with like meat sauce. He likes lasagna.
Okay.
I think because it's more involved. But I'm like he'll eat it.
That's interesting.
Isn't it? He's so weird. And he doesn't like shredded chicken. I'm like, that's tism. I learned so many things we do are tisms, Beth Anne. You know how mom twirls her hair constantly? Tism. I watched this whole video and this lady was like, we all have things that are tism.
Mm-hmm.
And like texture eating, like all of that stuff.
I have to walk a certain amount of steps in the sidewalk. Like I have to get a certain amount of feet in each block of the sidewalk.
I know.
Yes.
So is that tism or is that OCD?
Right.
I can't sleep on my hair. I have to lift up my hair when I'm sleeping and get my neck clean on the pillar.
So do I.
Drives me nuts.
Nuts.
That's why I'm like overstimulated sleeping in the bonnet, but I like want to wait. I want the results of sleeping in the bonnet, but I don't want to sleep in the bonnet.
I have to figure out why the bonnet makes my hair
crease.
You can kind of tell today too. Like it's so.
It does it to me too.
It's so creasy. I think it's because it's wanting to lay my edges, but I don't have edges to lay, so it just makes everything super flat right there.
Yeah, and I don't want it to come so far down on my forehead either. I'm so overstimulated. Oh my gosh.
What are some other like tings we do? Because I feel like there are some tings.
Oh yeah, like I have to make sure Tootie's breathing before I go to sleep.
I have to go check on Fiona not once but twice after I put her in the crate. I have to just find a way to just go and like lift it up and like she has to lick my hand. Like if she doesn't lick my hand before I leave,
this probably isn't even that crazy. But like I have to see Tootie before I walk out of the house. I can't just be like, bye Tootie, let me some. Like I have to know he's in
recently.
And, like right there.
I guess my brain was doing subtle foreshadowing, and it was like feeling the vibes that Fiona was going to be hit by a car. So whenever I was the past maybe like a month or so, every time I go to get in my car and leave, I can't pull it out of the driveway until I go back inside and make sure that she's in the house.
I do the same thing. I do the same thing at Gage's house to make sure his dogs aren't in the way.
Yep.
It's
haunts me.
It's
a sweet queen that accidentally like bumped Fiona last night. She was like, this is my greatest fear on earth. This is and I was like, yep, same. But we're all good in the hood.
No, we're literally all good in the hood. Fiona's alive and well. We're going to Topgolf tonight.
We're going to have so much fun. Are you going to bring your own clubs? We are going to mom and dad's before. And Chase said, like, you have some clubs there. Have you used them before?
Yeah, that one time I bent the back side of the driver. I hit the wrong side of the club when I swung. It was just
that is just something I don't even know if you could recreate that.
No.
You know?
So I can't wait though. And
I need y'all to lift me up in prayer.
Yeah, we will.
I'm sick.
Yeah.
I'm trying so hard not to be. My head is 587,000 pounds.
I know.
I have not a fresh thought in my brain because it's so stuffed with snot. And it won't even come out. That's the craziest part. Except for when I sneeze harshly, then snot comes out. My throat is so tickly wickly, like I have ant bites in it. And what else? Let's see. Well, I want to be able to taste my food. This would be the great time.
And you want to be able to get behind the wheel and not worry about the ones in blue coming after you.
Yeah,
we should write a
12.
Song. 12 been acting great this week.
Just get these blue lights out from behind my head. They've been driving me crazy all
Y'all, we want to hear more from you guys. So write in to get some advice to yourpudcast@gmail.com. Write in your questions for us to ask each other for Twintuition. And continue to give us movie suggestions for Flicks and Feels. Each week, we're just going to one-up the one before it. Don't forget, this week, we're watching The Swimmers. Let me confirm.
Please
confirm. Hold on. It's on Netflix. I had it pulled up 5 seconds ago. It's called The Swimmers.
Period.
It's going to be entertaining. And I think it's based on a true story. Love things based on a true story, except not really adrift. I mean, shout out to Tammy, literal queen, but
of course.
She lied to us the whole time. I don't know. Let's look it up real quick. I'm just curious. Is Tammy from Adrift still alive? Tammy Oldham. Yes. Yeah.
She's sailing the ocean blue today.
Mm-hmm. She literally survived for 41 days.
I mean,
Tammy realizes that an injured Richard on board was a hallucination. Wow. Oh, she spotted a Japanese research vessel and signals for help. So that's where she was, I guess, Japan. I mean, we had no answers, just hallucinations, straight hallucinations. Let's bring it to the Lord in prayer, shall we?
Do it.
God, thank you so much for today. And thank you so much for waking us up this morning and breathing life into our lungs. The first thing I thought this morning was, like, what a blessing and gift it is to have a new day and to see the world around us and experience all the love that there is. Thank you, God, for having your hand of protection over Miss Fee last evening. God, I pray for the driver, one of our neighbors, that you would just continue to bring her peace of mind and everything is okay, bring her comfort. And I pray that you would just heal Miss Fee's boo-boo right up. I pray, God, for everyone who wrote in who is just needing clarity and wants answers, whether it's with their relationship and their future families, or if it's this season where they are wondering about their future husband and the plan that you have for them. I pray that you would just continue to stay beside them, that they would just continue to lean on you and find peace in you and your plan for their lives. Lord, thank you so much for my sweet twin sistie and the opportunity that we have to spend this time together, talking to our friends, Mama. And God, I pray that you just continue to use us as vessels for your kingdom. Pray that you will keep us safe. We love you so much. And in Jesus' name I pray, amen.
Amen.
Miss Beth, come back. Lord, I just really want to lift up Miss Beth's health.
I was going to say.
I know that she is battling through. I pray that you would just revive her mentally, physically, emotionally. I know she's just kind of been down under. I pray that you'll bring her through this and she will see brighter days with more mental clarity and no more head congestion. We love you so much. And in Jesus' name I pray, amen.
Amen. I had my head pointed down for so long. I'm starting to snot. So thank you for letting it come out. I need the neti pot.
So I quit doing that because last time it just made like more congestion and pressure. So I don't know.
You have to
maybe
get through
the thing
hump.
that you squoot.
No worries.
That you squirt like up, and then it instead of like
to the side. The neti pot is such a crazy contraption.
Yeah, I don't know. Just we'll stick with the vitamin C and like see if it helps.
And some sleep.
Y'all be safe out there. Watch out for the police. Keep your dogs locked inside or put them on a leash.
And don't do anything we wouldn't do.
Don't do anything we wouldn't do.
We love ya and Jesus saves ya. Bye.